romping it 4-1. James Wade made a mini comeback that was soon halted by the power.
Well, are we going to see one of the greatest comebacks in Grand Prix history? Phil Taylor has only ever lost one semi-final since this tournament's inception. That was against Adrian Lewis in 2010, and Lewis was on the canvas in that match before rallying to win unexpectedly.
James Wade has only lost one as well. Something has to give.
60.
Yeah. Taylor has played 11 and Wade 3, though, in fairness.
Fair point. Point made.
58.
Right, James knows that any kind of mini mistake, any error, could be the fatal one.
96.
We may see a little nestler alongside the first treble 19. Well, it is a long way to Tipperary, but it's an even longer way back from 4-1 down a race to 5 against Phil Taylor here in Dublin. We've seen some odd performances in the last 12 to 18 months from the power. Remember the semi-final against Barney in the World Championships? Similar scenario, he was wiping the floor with the great Dutchman, and suddenly then he fell apart, didn't he? So Wade has to somehow keep his belief, Wade, doesn't he?
James Wade knows that
95.
if he can somehow, from somewhere, get his A game going, of course he has a chance. But the thing is with Phil, yes, he can go off the boil, but it doesn't happen often.
99.
Just his
128.
leg in, leg out consistency, it does make you miss. Treble 20 for Wade. It's a great dart. Little red bit.
103.
Well, the highest finish of the match remains Wade's 121. Is Taylor going to raise that by 5? Might do. Double 6 for a 1-2-6.
120. Change required 25.
There's a single 5. Last time he hit a single 10, if you remember, and had to go over the top of that single 5. Not this time. Moves over.
15.
Misses. This was Wade's throw, remember.
6.
This for a break. And Phil Taylor's darts lay down, so if he goes below it, this will be a marker. That is a perfect marker. It's a parlour.
Shot in the first leg. Phil Taylor.
Well, he made it
Second leg,
almost
Phil
into a two-dart combination.
First.
He kind of made it impossible. Made it impossible to miss.
Well, James Wade is regarded not just as the best double 10 hitter in the business, but probably the best
17.
hitter of any double nominated. Most people picking double 10 Wade for your life. 2 of 13 tonight.
I would, but I wouldn't pick him tonight. Yeah.
No.
Well, that'll do. Phil was off with double 5. James is off with double 4.
60.
Who cares, James? You're off. Don't apologise, man. Trying to intimidate Whitlock last night, apologising tonight.
$99. $81.
James Wade is now in dire straits. At some point you feel that he's going to have to rely on Mr. Taylor missing. And he doesn't look like missing, does he?
180.
Oh dear, oh dear. Come on, he said. Now he's got a swagger about him. The power.
aka the Tungsten Terminator, and
52.
when he has a target in his sights, he rarely lets it escape, and over the years he's ruthless. Horrible when he has you at his mercy, isn't he?
It's a horrible feeling. You want to stay up there to compete, but you want to get off as well and go home and talk to your mum and your wife and just get home. Double 6.
So within a leg now of an 11th final of the World Grand Prix, Phil Taylor. Dave Chisnall awaits in the final. He said, Wayne, he wanted to play Phil.
He's going to get his wish, I think.
And while on the face of that, that would seem, well, hang on a minute, you'd rather play Wade because Wade is ranked lower than Taylor, but I kind of get what Chisnall means. The chance to play Taylor in a big final and the chance to maybe even beat Taylor in a big final, that's a fantastic thing for any player. Well,
many years ago, when I could actually at a treble 20, I wanted to play Phil in a major final. I got my wish. I gave it everything and I come up short, but I'm still glad I played Phil Taylor in that final, because that was the best match I've probably ever played.
More than one.
I wasn't good enough. Brilliant. 96 average. Double start. Well, that's in the bullseye. James Wade is off.
58.
Too little, too late, you would think, because this man is not doing a lot wrong. In fact, he's doing most things perfectly.
83.
Well, it has been a cruise on the River Liffey for Phil Taylor. Well, one last act of defiance to tie the 180 score at 5 apiece, but it's not going to make a whole bunch of difference to the outcome.
135.
All James can do, if he can, get another max. Got a switch.
57.
Looking to score 93 to leave 170 for the match. 60 now for double 20. Got to go right. And does. Inevitability! Phil Taylor is through. He beats the machine, James Wade, 5-1. James Wade, magnanimous in defeat. He is through. Phil Taylor to another Grand Prix final, where he will meet Dave Chisnall, who beat Justin Pipe 5-2. What a final we will have tomorrow.
Phil Taylor then through. Will he make it title number 11 here in Dublin? Very accomplished performances from Dave Chisnall, 5-2 over Justin Pipe. And confirmation of that 5-1 victory for Phil Taylor against James Wade. So Sunday night, it's a first for viewers on Sky Sports. Phil Taylor against Dave Chisnall, a battle of the entertainers. And that, Rod Harrington, should be exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I think Dave Chisnall got upset with his rhythm against Justin Pipe, but I don't think he will against Phil Taylor. That's more of a nice, casual game for Dave Chisnall.
Came good in the end there, Chisnall. Won 12 of the last 13 legs.
Yeah, I mean, I just spoke to Justin Pipe, and when he went 2-1 up, he couldn't understand how he'd lost concentration, lost focus, and I said, well, you're still learning the big stage, and that's what he has to do, you know. But Dave Chisnall knuckled down. You know, a year ago, Dave Chisnall may have lost that game, but he just knuckled down, stayed in focus, and he ended up a good winner.
What about Phil Taylor's performance? Because it was very, very good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he don't do a lot wrong. I mean, we say at times when Phil Taylor always wins the scrappy legs. You know, if you don't play well against him, he wins all them legs, and that means you've got to win legs he's playing brilliant, which doesn't happen always, and that's why he's so good. This leg-on-leg pressure, as we call it.
Tell you what, we can hear from Phil Taylor right now talking to Rod Studd.
Phil, well done. Many congratulations. Through to another final here in Dublin. Just sum up how you're feeling.
I feel good. James didn't click. He was gone. The first time I've ever seen him gone, to be honest with you. And he just said to me, Phil, I'll give up. Why, I had no idea. He said it wasn't you, I'd just give up. So you'll have to ask him yourself. I don't think that's fair on people that have probably had a bet on him, but, you know, he'll explain himself.
Do you think last night's game against Simon Whitlock, which went all the way, took something out of him and left him totally drained?
No, not at all, no, of course it's not. A good game does you good. It sets you up for the next day. He just give up.
Look, it's not just about where you throw the darts. There were some very clever tricks up there. You left him on a big finish by not going for the bull. You went off with the bull yourself at one point. Were you playing a few clever little tricks up there?
Why would you... What do you mean, clever trick?
Well, like not going for the bull when he was on 156.
He wasn't playing his best game, to be quite honest with you. So if anybody leaves 156, he's got to go, and he clipped the wire, by the way. But even then, he was a lot behind. Do you know what I mean? 156 is a massive shot. It's not tricks. It's not mind games. Not with me. It's just taking advantage of him in the front.
OK, look, final tomorrow. Dave Chisnall playing really well this week, hitting a lot of big scores. Give us your thoughts on that final, because he did take you out of the World Championship a few years ago. Have to remind you.
Why? Why have you got to remind me?
Because people will talk about it a lot, that, you know, it was a classic game.
That is the worst question I've ever had in all my career. Why are you reminding me of something that happened, what, 3 or 4? I won the World Championship last year. Yeah. Why don't you remind me about that one?
OK, you won the World Championship 16 times. But, you know, he's capable of giving you a real game up there.
So that's your question. He's giving me a good game. Of course he is. He's beat me more than once. Rod, sorry, but you've flummoxed me there. You've really got me on the up. I've just won a semi-final. I've got to the final, and you're telling me I lost.
Well, you played really well. You played really well. We're looking for a classic final, and I'm sure you'll deliver one.
I am annoyed with you there, Rod. Sorry, but I am. I think you're out of order.
Well done. We'll see you tomorrow in the final.
Phil Taylor, not his normal jovial self there. A little bit prickly.
I think James Wade antagonised him on the hockey, and he's come off feeling somewhat angered by it. That's my take on it.
Frustrations coming through, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Rather than being frustrated on the hockey, Phil's a consummate pro on that hockey, and we know that. He's come off and the frustration's boiled over. That's what's happened right now.
He seems quite angry.
He was very angry. I think Wayne's right. I think what Phil's done over the years, along with a lot of other players, has put, you know, the proverbial backside on the line to give people a chance to be here. And he walks up there and sees James Wade, who he thinks hasn't tried. It insults Phil. And he's walked off the stage with that still in his head, and Rod's asked him a question, you know, that Dave Chisnall has beaten him, and he's got
it was only 2011, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh, no question. Dave Chisnall has got the game to beat Phil. We all know that. But he just caught Phil on the up. I think, as Wayne said, Phil's got the ump with James Wade, and that's why he's walked off in a little bit of a bad mood.
What about the Chisnall-Taylor final? It should be electric, shouldn't it?
Phil Taylor will not change anything about his game whatsoever. But I think Phil Taylor will not change. Dave Chisnall has to. Because today he got embroiled in a match that was methodical, a bit slow. That's how Phil plays as well. He's got to change routines and rhythms. The way Dave Chisnall stands back when he wants an important double and kind of builds himself up into a crescendo to release the dart is not going to work against Phil Taylor. More often than not, you will miss because the pressure will become too much. He's got to put that right tomorrow to have a chance.
Will the pressure get to Chisnall at all? He doesn't seem to be fazed by very much, really.
No, to be fair to him, Dave, he really is one of those players that just gets up there and throws darts. He doesn't make it complicated. But the one thing he's got to tighten up on are doubles, because Phil Taylor does not miss very often. And if Dave doesn't hit them doubles, he's going to lose. And that's the B end of it. I mean, he really has to tighten up. I mean, he's taken 6 darts to get on. I mean, Phil Taylor's going to be 200 in front of you before you've even hit a double.
He can think, though, back to the Van Gerwen game and get a lot about that put-a-pipe performance out of his mind, I guess.
If Dave Chisnall plays like he did against Van Gerwen, he wins. Because no one could live with that. Absolutely no one. He was so...
Even Phil Taylor?
Even Phil Taylor. He was averaging 105 after 2 sets. He was unlucky, Dave Chisnall, not to win 3 sets to nil. It was only a moment of brilliance and genius from Michael van Gerwen taking out a 1-2-7 that prolonged that match. And don't forget, in the end, Dave Chisnall won a last set that no one thought he was going to win. He's strong, he's confident, and if he can play his A game, he wins.
I tell you what.